let's talk a little bit about your career as a dancer, as a professional dancer. And maybe for people who are watching and they sort of want to navigate, because this is how I understand it. Let me, for context, right? Most of my career, I've understood, like, if you're going to build a dance career, one of the best ways to do it is to be a coach, for example, of a dance team, right? And that was early on. Well, it's crazy when I say early on. It's not like it was that long ago, but you have a dance team, you coach them, and then you have that's how you're earning. Now we're in a situation where there are more studios, more avenues to learn. The people are more than willing to take class. There's a difference in how you train on a team and how you learn in class. So people are seeing that value. So from your perspective, like how does one sort of navigate that as who wants to sort of try the professional aspect of being a dancer? And you can do it from the lens as a krumper, or just in general. Like I'm sure then naman, because of your specialties, you've got different backgrounds there, so you can adjust, right? Because there are going to be some dancers who are just purely krumpers, and they're not going to be able to take on these other dance gigs because it's made for this and not necessarily that. So maybe talk a little bit about like your experiences in terms of what work you sort of try to get into, which work you might say no to, and maybe some advice for people who want to explore a career in dance in sort of the setting that we're in now.
Sa akin naman, I really didn't think about earning in dance nung una kasi it was really just kasi student pa ako, ganyan. But I started really earning money nung nag-teach ako. So I thought really young din. Nag-start ako magturo ng mga 16 years old ako, ganun, ng choreography. And then doon ko na nakita na, pwede palang pwede pala akong kumita dito. And then nag-start na ako mag-show. Ayan, medyo malaki din. Mas malaki pa ba dito? And I think as a dancer in the industry, I think it's really important na you have to know a lot of things aside from the style that you're doing. Siguro you could have a style that you're really good at, but then you really have to explore. It's like, how do you do this ba? It's like enrolling for a course. Kunwari, nag-enroll ako ng financial management. Hindi lang naman finance ang aaralin ko. I also have to finish general education. Kailangan ko din matuto ng konting science, ng konting mathematics, konting Filipino and English and history. And I think it's the same with dance. And the more you know, the more you can apply. And yes, I think the more opportunities that you will have to earn in dance. Kasi when you have more knowledge, it opens up more opportunities for you. Hindi lang sa sarili mong style, and also knowing how to teach, also knowing how to communicate with other people, especially when you want to go into having your own studio. And saying that, after a while, after doing shows na konti-konti sa Baguio, we decided to create a studio, to make a studio, kaming magkakagrupo. But I would not recommend that to everybody kasi it's really hard to start and to maintain a studio, and hindi ka talaga masyadong kikita sa studio unless under special circumstances. And then, dahil nga sa kaka-workshop ko, kung saan ako napupunta, so nakita ko nila Mami Lema. And then, I think that's the topic on how you connect, how you make connections. I think it's also really important for your, hindi lang to keep creating, but to also really put the effort on showing up para makita ka, para makita yung work mo. Kasi when you want to make money out of your career, if you really want to make it a career, kailangan mo din siyang i-market. Because we're kind of artist entrepreneur. Parang magiging ganun yung magiging goal mo with how you handle your art or your creative things in your career. So I think it's really important to build your network. And how do you build your network? You show up. You show up to events. You show up to workshops. You show up to battles and competitions, and just keep, always be seen. Because it's really just the way to market yourself.
Yeah.
And ngayon naman sa online thing, I think it's also important to not just keep posting, but also syempre to keep the quality sa ginagawa mo and intention mo. Kuya, ikaw na. Mag-input ka na bago ako mag-umpisa ulit.
Okay. So, no, because you had a lot of great points there. So I was just listening. But okay, so I like what you were saying in terms of the one thing you said earlier that I really loved as well was just like, the more that you're able to learn, the more opportunities it affords you, right? So obviously, if, for example, there are two ways to sort of go about it, I think. One, you build up your brand so well that people know you for that specific thing, and that gives you the opportunity, more opportunities. The other side could be like if you're starting out, you're kind of just building your skill sets and different things, and that opens up opportunities that way. So I think what we take for granted is the opportunity of choice, right? If you're just starting out, you don't have much of a choice. You're going to just take the jobs that are available to you. If you've been in the industry longer, you've been able to explore this, you've done work here, then you can choose, And I think it's the same thing, not just in dance, but like in different aspects of life, where you're always trying to pick up new skill sets. This is something I learned from my dad a long time ago. You can, for example, as a dancer, maybe most of your income would come through classes, right? But when you build different skill sets, let's say you're a good teacher. And so I know that there's opportunities where now you can even teach classes. They'll give you curriculum and you can teach that way. Or maybe, like you said, Banang, you studied a little bit of finance, right? And did you say that? Did you say studied finance, or you were just giving an example? Okay, yeah.
I did.
Having skill sets. So, parang if you wanted, you could open up an opportunity in that way. So I think like the learning thing, the being able to learn different aspects to yourself, whether that's in the dance aspect or that's in the life aspect, it really opens up the opportunities. Cool. Really good insights there. There was one thing that you were saying at the end. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Also kasi in the Philippines, I don't think there's that parang set or mas stable na opportunities para sa mga dancers lang, like or performers lang. So I think sa age natin ngayon, we really have to venture out of the dance, but really in the entertainment industry, and learn how to maybe do commercial modeling. Kasi for me, I also do that, and it really helps me with sa income ko.
Yeah.
And then you can do events organizing. You can be there and still be at kind of within that umbrella. Kasi it creates more, it's really all about opportunities and having that bala para masabi mong, oo, kaya kong kunin tong opportunity ngayon. I can say yes to this. And I know na I can do this kasi meron kang bala, meron kang knowledge about it. And yun talaga, opening up and taking in and saying yes more. I think it's also important na we say yes more. Kahit na you think na, kasi, what do you call this? If I didn't say yes to a lot of things, I wouldn't have, kunwari, yung sa Russia, kung hindi ako pumayag, hindi naman ako makikilala ng ibang tao, and I wouldn't have made the connection. And say yes more to opportunities na feeling mo hindi mo kaya, pero kaya mo namang matuto. I think pwede, go. As long as wala ka naman natatapakan na ibang tao. I think it's really, yes.
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 Yes. No, I like that. Two things there that really pop out. One was the fact that you mentioned just the importance of your area that we don't often take into consideration, right? Na parang you said in the Philippines specifically, it's just the reality where the opportunity isn't as much. And I think that applies everywhere. So, you know, even in the States, if you're a dancer from the state of Oregon or North Dakota, right? Dun ka nag-grow.
True.
You know, usually the advice is you want to grow, you want to move up in your career. You go to LA where the industry is there, there's more opportunity, things like that. And I think that's a big part of it. You know, one thing that I've had the opportunity to sort of witness is how in Europe, just the freestyle scene there is incredible. Like, you know, because I do some stuff for BC1 and Red Bull Dance. And when I watch, like literally there are people who just travel around on tours and they just dance as a freestyler. And it's not even like, parang, I'm not sure about how big their choreo community is, but I just know that from a freestyle sense, like it makes more sense there to be equipped in all different styles because that opens up your opportunities. As compared here to Philippines, where the demand is usually for choreography, combinations, things like that. And so I think that's something that we have to realize that, you know, it's not necessarily that you don't have the skill. You know, for somebody starting out, it's like, it's not necessarily na hindi mo kaya. It's just the fact that, you know, like, cause maybe the reason I say it is maybe people are thinking to themselves like, baha, I need to get better at this kasi parang, wala, I am not getting opportunities eh. I think it's a big part of it is you just have to look at the market. If the market is demanding for it, then there's an opportunity. So you could be really good at Krump, and just because you're not booking jobs, it doesn't mean that you're not good. It just means that there's no demand for that specific skill set in the market, right? And so same thing with the other areas of your dance, whether that's you as a choreographer, whether that's you as a performer. Yes. And so you know, I'm glad that you're able to share now. You're sort of able to sort of dive into these different little pockets. Right? Commercial modeling, finance, joke. but yeah, those little areas that allow you to sort of navigate the financial sort of you know, the financial part of our life as freelance dancers and artists, you know. Cool. That's some good stuff there too.